Pat and AJ.
Can we tell everybody what you do before the video starts?
What? I make the little the square that like identifies faces. It always goes to her. So what I do is I go over here and then I steal it, and then the square stays on my face.
We don't have anybody filming us. We just have a camera.
Yeah.
So we flip the little viewfinder.
So I can see it.
So we can see ourselves. And there's a box that focuses on faces. Yeah. And Pat sits here and goes,
"Give it to me. I want it."
So now it's focusing on him. You are ridiculous.
I'm not that ridiculous because I realized that at my age, the ripe old age of 37, that I am not a grandparent. I don't have cancer, and my parents are still alive.
Those are all good things.
They are. I just realized this, man. Not one, but two friends that I grew up with back in the day in Chicago have announced they're going to become grandparents. They're my age. In fact, one of them's younger than me by 2 years.
2 years?
2 years. I'm 37.
You're 37.
She's 35. She's 35. Gonna be grandma.
That's unreal.
See, now I grew up in like the teen pregnancy epidemic 90s. I mean, everybody was popping out kids at 15, 16, 17. And look, God bless them. Some of the kids turned out great. Some of the couples are together and married 20 years later. A lot of them ain't. But I was one of the very few people that got out of my neighborhood without having a kid.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing that cycle, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart.
It's a vicious cycle. Because think about it. Yeah. Do the math. If somebody's a grandparent at 35, that means they had their child really young, and now their child is having a child really young. It is a vicious cycle.
It really is, man. And, you know, it's just one of those things where I sat back and I kind of thought about it today, like...
Now, when you were in high school, because Pat's a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
When you were in high school, were girls just, like, walking around pregnant?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to remember at my high school, that didn't happen. Girls that...
They disappeared, right?
They disappeared. And now that I found them on Facebook, I mean, they've got teenagers.
You didn't die.
No, I'm like, what happened to you? You just poof. It's so interesting, though, that where you grew up, girls just walked around high school pregnant.
Yeah.
Where I grew up, if you got pregnant as a teenager, you just poof,
just disappeared.
That's crazy.
They walked around all preggers. They did. So I don't know, just a keen observation about my phase in life, where I'm like, that's
our son's 8, going on 9, and I'm totally fine with that.
Don't worry.
Gosh, I had him when I was 24, and I felt like I was like 12.
See, I remember that was the first time I realized that myself and AJ came from two inherently different places in the world. When she, when
I got pregnant,
broke down and was like, I'm so young. And I'm like, young? What are you talking about? You did that 10 years ago.
I was 24, and I'm like, I'm just a baby.
Yeah. No, you're not. Please.
Speaking of babies, I feel like I should be home because my fur baby is sick.
Meow, meow.
My meow, meow is sick. My meow, meow. When I, by the way, I do say that to him, and he turns around, I go,
Say what?
And the dog even turns around, like, where's the cat? Yeah. The bird says it now. The bird goes,
Bird does, yeah.
Yesterday, he puked in our bedroom before we left for work. I thought, whatever, he puked.
Cats puke all the time.
As long as they bounce back, it's fine.
Yeah.
I came home to find more puke around the house, and he was just laying in his bed. There was a wet spot in his bed. I don't think he peed in his bed. I don't know. Maybe he was sweating.
Panting?
Do cats sweat? I don't know. But he wouldn't lay in that spot, and I texted Pat. I'm like, the cat is sick! And I realized I am so damaged from... We put our cat down about a year ago this time. First time I've ever had to put an animal down, and it was the worst experience I've ever had. And
you had PTSD from it.
Yesterday, when he took him to the vet, I couldn't focus. I turned the TV off and just sat and just texted Pat, like, what's going on?
I love the way how this worked out, by the way. She found out the cat was sick and
I made
called
him
me
take it to the vet.
To take him to the vet.
I can't do it, man. I was so emotionally scarred from putting that cat down last year. I couldn't take this one to the vet.
Seriously, you would have thought over the phone... And I didn't even mean to ask her to take the cat to the vet.
He was like, all right, take him to the vet. And I was like, well...
What?
Can you do it? I couldn't do it.
That's fine. He's got some medicine he's got to take.
I feel like I should be home with him.
Would you really?
My kitty snuggles from his mom.
Not quite sure FMLA covers your cat.
It does not.
Little FYI. Hey, have yourselves a fantabulous day, and click on the button below us. That's our subscribe button.
Yeah, I'm going to go home and be with my...
I'm going to go home and make sure I'm not a grandparent, all right? Have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Bye.